set to spend more than 8 years in prison after he was found guilty of rape during his time with the team.
In court today, the victim spoke just before the judge handed down his sentence.
This has been the longest 4 years of my life.
8 years and 4 months. That's how long Ben McLemore will be in prison after being found guilty of raping a woman at a house party back in 2021. It happened while the 32-year-old was on the Portland Trail Blazers team at the Lake Oswego home of his then teammate, Robert Covington.
I've had to continue on with my life with a piece of it left unresolved. These last few years have often felt like a weight that I've had to drag behind me, a constant reminder of the trauma that I haven't fully been able to work through because there was no ending in sight.
He wasn't arrested and indicted until just last year, and today the victim addressed the court, speaking about the years-long process it took for justice to be served.
This experience has taken an immense toll on my emotional and mental health. It's changed me in ways that I've never expected, and yet I've carried this burden in silence. Thanks to the jury's verdict, I can finally feel a weight being lifted, a weight that I've carried for far too long. And while I can't truly describe the relief that I feel, I know that today I stand a little taller and a little freer.
McLemore was found guilty of several charges, including first-degree rape, despite his claims that the sexual encounter was consensual.
He used my vulnerability against me and then had the audacity to lie about the disgusting act that he committed.
The victim said in court today that she hopes this trial will be a testament that no one is above the law, no matter their status.
So many times we hear about people in positions of power or fame avoiding accountability, but I knew that no matter how famous Mr. McLemore was or how much he may have loved and respected his family, he was still capable of hurting someone else.
McLemore was also sentenced to 11 and a half years of post-prison supervision and will have to register as a sex offender.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Kol Holayim La, Al-Banawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekat, Quadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners, and shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. And this is a pure example amongst many where the woman, because I don't know if this woman was an Israelite, a heathen, I don't know. They didn't show no picture of her, they didn't show her speaking, etc. So I don't know. I can't really call, or discern from hearing her testament. Okay, but basically, as you saw and as you continue to see, this Jake right here was a part of a NBA basketball team. And I speak as a man on this, which is more than likely probably true, but I speak as a man. She more than likely perceived herself to be a side chick and to be getting taken care of. And more than likely this Jake wasn't going to fall through or, acknowledge the way that she wanted to continue on with him. Okay? So more than likely she thought in her mind that she probably would be the side chick. She would get catered to. She would get an allowance. She would get, a house, apartment, townhouse, whatever the case may be, cars, to be treated like a queen, as they say. So more than likely, she probably gave up the box to this Jake at a house party, as they stated, from one of his teammates, his prior teammate. And, promises were probably made and, probably kept on hitting it. I mean, and again, I speak as a man. Okay, so, and when, no currency, no FRNs was involved, then, what is the next thing to do? Say he raped me. So you don't want to pay. You don't want to pay to play. You don't want to give me the princess treatment. Well, you're gonna go to jail, nigga. You're gonna go to jail. And it's not far-fetched to believe that's probably what happened. Okay, and again, I don't know per se. I'm just speaking as a man, because obviously this Jake was in a certain tax bracket, and these women want men in a certain tax bracket, and especially a man of status and also has a name in society, and especially in the sports world. Okay, but this also shows you that the woman is always devising and what's the word I'm looking for here? Conforming and formulating the plan in her mind, man. And a woman always looks at you men, especially you men of so-called high value in a society that have a certain tax bracket, as a W, as a crutch, as a support system. Okay, because that's all you men here in this society are to the woman. You're supposed to be catering to them. You're supposed to be taking care of them. Again, giving them allowance. Pampering them, etc. Man. Okay, as they say, courting them. Okay, and giving them everything that they desire and they want. So since that wasn't part of the agenda and part of the plan, then what comes the snare of getting you locked up? Going to Esau, crying these tears, talking about you just took the box. She told you to stop. Okay, and once she told you to stop, you was pushing harder and harder and faster. She tried to quote fight you off, but yet she was holding her legs open. And again, I speak as a man, but it also shows you that Esau's judgment and his ways of bringing forth justice is completely diabolical, treacherous, and unrighteous, man. So you already should know where I'm going, because it's going to be a one and done. I'm not going to grab a whole bunch of precepts on this. Let's just grab a one and done, and we're going to leave it at that, because this is what should have been done, point blank, period, man. And this is what's going to be done in the kingdom to come, man. Okay, so this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, and I'm gonna start off at verse let me see here. I'm gonna start off at verse 22. So Deuteronomy 22 verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman in Salakia, also too, it's not going to take. See, Esau has here. It's I forgot what it's called, statue something, where like it's no statue on a grape or something like that. I forgot what it's called exactly. If anybody know exactly what it is, you can put it on the live premiere or the comment board. But when these things occur, they're supposed to be brought to the forefront right then and there. It's not supposed to be a year later, because again, and I don't mean to be long-winded and bring it back, but if I'm correct from what they were saying on the news clip, that she came a year later after it happened, and then the process, Esau's judicial system takes months and years to actually get a case to go through and be judged just like that, which is bullshit, man. Because again, it's all about what revenue, all about currency, all about money, because this damn devil's greedy, man. Okay. Masalakia, Deuteronomy 22 verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then shall they both of them die, both the man that shall lie. Salakia. Verse 21. Salakia. Deuteronomy 22 verse 21. Damn. One second. Let me see it real quick. Let me see. Salakia. Trying to make sure I want to start at the right point. Yeah, I'm going to start off at verse 22. Salakia. Deuteronomy 22 verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lied with the woman and the woman. So thou shalt put away evil from Israel, because what that's basically stating and saying is that both of them, enjoyed it. It was mutual. It was something that they both desired. The woman, she has a husband. She's committing adultery, which is treason, betrayal, and also goes against the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So both of those, the man and the woman, are supposed to be slayed, stoned, put to death, executed, however you want to state it. Okay. So this is the correct way to go about RAPE. Verse 23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her. So if a woman is betrothed to a man to be married to him at whatever such and such date, and a man comes upon that woman and just takes it, what's going to happen? Verse 24. Then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not. So the woman's supposed to get executed, judged, is because she didn't cry out. So obviously when she saw that man, she didn't really put up a fight. She didn't really show forth grievance. She didn't really show forth fear. Like she was being terrorized, like she was being restrained, like she was trying to avoid the situation at hand. She didn't show any resistance at all. So she basically, I give it to you. You ain't gotta take it. You can have it. And that's more than likely what it was in this situation. And again, I speak as a man. Okay, but again, I speak as a man, also saying that this is probably what truly happened, man. The dude probably, spits smooth promises and everything else, and didn't, execute those promises, man. And she got his ass locked up. Okay. Verse 24, continuing on. Because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he have humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. So again, they're both supposed to be executed, the man and the woman, because for one, the woman didn't cry out. She enjoyed it. She indulged in it. She liked it. Okay. And the man placed his reproductive organ in another man's possession and another man's property. So she's defiled. All these women are fucking defiled, man. You really can't, make no bond with a woman, man. Because she got all types of man's spirits and DNAs on her. So let's go to verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel, and Salakia, and we don't know that this woman, if she has a husband or not. We don't know if she has a husband before or now. It's not being stated. But, obviously, Babylon the Great, she's had plenty of husbands, lots of husbands. Okay? Everybody's, basically committing adultery, man. And that's why we pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai have mercy upon us, man, because every woman I've dealt with ain't been no damn virgin. Okay, Deuteronomy 22 verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her, so if the man take it, if he strong arm that box, if he say you gonna give me some, yeah, you gonna give me some of this. You look good, like on Juice. Hey, hurry up, yeah, you strip, you look good. Yeah, if he take it, he ain't walking up to her speaking those smooth damn words like, yeah, baby, this and that and this. No, he taking that shit. Okay? And the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lie with her shall die, but unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth up against his... Salaki, continuing on, verse 26. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this manner. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. Okay, so she cried out. She fears the Lord. She's betrothed to a man, or she has a husband, and she doesn't want to devalue or pollute herself from having another man trespass and, you know, basically, as it states, rise up against your neighbor, man. You know, because you basically rising up against another man's wife to, you know, rape her. You know, it's basically, again, spoiling and defiling his possession, man. You know, and you know, back in these days, you know, if you got with a woman that was already defiled, you wouldn't even want that woman. And more than likely, if this happened to a man that had a wife and she cried out, you know, who's to say that he wanted her after that? You know, but this is the correct way how to go about things. Now, if she cried out and she didn't have a husband, he's supposed to, as it states in the scriptures, give the matter of fact, verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lie hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he have humbled her. He may not put her away all his life. So that's what's supposed to happen. So to break it down in dummy terms, because a lot of y'all can't understand this law, if the woman he laid down with, and if he did rape her, and she cried out and she has no husband, he's supposed to pay her father 50 shekels and keep that woman for the rest of his life. He can't put her away off for nothing. Even if he hates her, whatever the case may be, he has to keep her for the rest of his life. Now, as the law stated, if she cried out and she has a husband, she's supposed to be spared, and he's supposed to be slayed. He's supposed to be stoned. He's supposed to be executed, deleted. Okay? But if she didn't cry out and she has a husband, as the law stated, they're both supposed to be executed, deleted. Okay? So that's just basically how it goes, man. You know, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has order for everything. He has an answer for everything. And a lot of y'all jakes can't understand this law, man. But this is the real judgment of how it's supposed to be done. So it's no, and also too, it's no fucking whole year waiting until after the action happens and then you go file a police report. You know, you run up to the whether it was a lawyer you went to first or you went to the police station crying to Esau, talking about he just took it. He just took the pussy. He just took it. I told him to stop. He just kept on going. Nah, it has to be said right there and right then and there. That same day, that same afternoon, that same evening, whenever it occurs, man. Okay? So that's the righteous judgment according to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Alright? So, you know, this is not your rest, man. You can't just be out here taking box just because you're at a certain tax bracket and you got a name in society, man. Especially when you know what the hell these women want, man. You know, so you got played left, man. So I don't want to wrap this up, man. I hope and I pray that this is edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true, sincere Aki and Akwaf. So with that, I'm just going to say, Shalom.